Good morning, Vlogsters. It's a little chilly this morning, which is a very nice relief from the hot night, sweat flesh-like stuff that's happening in the middle of the night. Want to take the first sip with me? Please take the first sip with me. This is a long-waited sip, and I'll tell you a little story time from this morning. I was going to vlog something different this morning, but now it's going to be story time. So maybe we'll have a vlog tomorrow, too. Just stay tuned. Okay, one more wait, because that's extra special today. Sorry. Good morning. Oh my goodness. Okay, so first, hi. I did one of those wake up early, but stay in bed and just start to fall back to sleep when the alarm went off kind of things. So I'm a little like, well, Jim and I were just talking about messages from the universe today, and first he made his coffee and he went to go make mine because he's so sweet, and the needle got clogged. So if you have a Keurig and you've ever had the needle get clogged, you see the coffee backs up on you. So our first initial is always to we didn't know the needle got clogged. Sometimes it's a bad K-cup. So I was like, just run it clear, like just with water, and he did, and then he ran the second cup and it did it again. So now we took the machine apart to clean it. So now that all this is happening before either of us have had coffee. But actually then I saw him go over to the counter and sneak a sip. So he had some coffee. He's like, if this happens again, I'm just going to give you mine. I'm like, it's okay. I have iced coffee. Yesterday, he has been like so full of energy that yesterday he came over to talk to me about something, and he does this like automatic response where he takes certain things. My sister's calling me. Sorry about that. And my sister said, you're vlogging? I'll let you go. And I was like, honey, you're more important. I mean, you're important. You're I can go back and talk to them. But, where was I? So we had a coffee fiasco this morning. So I came in here. I finally got a coffee made. He's like, I can't get the parts apart. So I got up to help him because usually he doesn't want help. And that was an issue last night. It was going to be part of my story time. Usually he doesn't want help. So I was like, I got up to help him. And as soon as I stood right behind him, it popped out. So I was like, it's okay. It really is okay. So I helped him clean it. I did part of it. Like I did the machine while he did the trap. If you guys have a Keurig, you know what I'm talking about? The little black thing that that has a needle in it. So then after the coffee was made, he brought it in here. I went to the ladies' room. I guess running all that water makes you go to the ladies' room. And I came to put flowers away from the last time I did DIYs. And I was like, oh, usually he helps me clean up, but I think I can do it. I'm feeling good today. No, not really back pain. My knee is but you know, I've been dealing with a knee for 20, 30 years, about 27 years now. So, I went to go put the flowers away, and I knocked off all of the little mason jar lights. So if you've seen room tours before and been with my channel since the beginning, you know I made these little mason jar fairy lights for Eden's wedding. Well, I brought a set back with me, and they were in my office, and I had them in front of all the flowers, and I was being so diligently careful. But what had happened was one of the, as I squeezed the one basket between the other two, it like sprung forward and pushed them off, and then they actually broke. One of the jars actually broke. So then I was like, I'm afraid to move because I can't see well enough to see that there's glass on the floor. So he came running. I didn't even call him. He's like, are you okay? Something happened? And I was like, actually, yeah, I was trying to clean. Meantime, I'm still struggling to put the flowers away, like, because it's hard when you take the baskets out of the middle, I'll be honest, because I have so many and they overflow. So then you're trying to squeeze the baskets, in, but like all of the overflowing flowers are hitting each other. I think what had happened was the last time I pulled those two baskets out, I think Jim had pushed the other ones in just to keep them like far away from the edges. He's got this thing about things being close to the edge and knocking off. So that's okay though. So I think that's what happened. So I went to go move them, and then they were resistant. They were resistant to being moved. So I was proud of myself that I'm going to do some stuff by myself. And then I went ahead and I made a mess. And then he came in and he's like, go sit down. I don't want you to cut your feet. He's so sweet. And then he brought in the vacuum, and I was like, the whole place needs to be vacuumed, but if you could just vacuum up the glass, we can leave the cleaning for later. And then, he's so sweet. And then he went in and he's vlogging now. So it's one of those things that's like the morning, and he's like, I feel like the universe is doing, no, because I feel like something supernatural is happening. I'm like, maybe it's just messages from the universe, and how do we interpret them? And he's like, I don't know. What do you mean? And I said, well, maybe the universe is either like, you need to come in here more often because we need you to prioritize this. Or maybe the universe is like, you shouldn't be in here today. Maybe the universe is punishing me because I actually said I'd like to vlog on the couch this morning with my coffee chat. And I was like, nah, just go in the office. Mom's resting. She's got an appointment later or whatever. So I was like, yeah, just go in the office. So maybe the office is punishing me for choosing it second. Maybe. I don't know. I know this is on repeat, and I'm so sorry, but isn't it the best when someone else makes your coffee? I don't know. Just something about it. But I'm proud of myself because I did get some stuff cleaned up. And when he came in and I was still putting stuff away, at least he had proof of it. Because so much of the work that I do around the house, I try to do when he's not home so that I can not use the time that we have together doing things. So it gets to the point in our marriage that he's like, he doesn't see what was done all the time. It's only if there was a huge change. Like, for example, if the kitchen was a disaster, like at he went on midnight cooking and left the kitchen a disaster, and he knew it was a disaster when he went to work and he came home and it was cleaned up, he might notice something like that. But if the floor is swept and the floor is mopped or the counters are wiped off, those kinds of things, like, he just doesn't really notice because you only notice when they're dirty. You don't always notice when they're clean, if that makes any sense. Like when you're walking on your clean floor, if there's a piece of paper on there, you'll notice it. You'll be like, oh, there's something on the floor. I have to pick it up. But if you're walking on the floor and there's nothing on the floor, you don't notice the floor. It's the way it is. Unless you're inspecting for cleaning. Like, oh, let me look around and see what they did today. That's different. But otherwise, you just don't notice when it's clean. So this was kind of like, oh, look, I'm doing something while you're walking in the room. Look, I do stuff. There have been a lot of changes. One of the things I was going to mention was about Jim got let go from his job. Really for, I want to say no good reason, but Missouri is a right-to-work state. I'm really disappointed because nobody went to bat for him. He worked with the owner on Saturday and then got let go on Monday. And everything was like exemplary on Saturday. So like, that's weird. But he feels that it was one of his disgruntled former coworkers that reported something that wasn't true. And I've had a lot of you reach out to me and say how you've watched his vlogs all the time and you just know it's not true also. So thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that a lot. I've mentioned before that Jim asks me not to watch his vlogs unless there's something like a message he wants to send me. So I don't watch them all. So I just ask him to be honest with me. I'm like, honestly, is there something? And he's like, no. He's like, no, I always say good things about it. Like, do I complain about coworkers that are slackers? Yeah, but I don't mention any names and stuff. So it's just very like, I feel like he was let go for something that isn't true. And they didn't even try to find out if it was true. That's what bothers me. So I'm looking at it like it's a blessing. I know he mentioned in his vlog that part of the pandemic relief package is PPP money, which is for small businesses. And technically, I am a small business. The first time PPP money came out, it didn't qualify for independent contractors, like what I am considered on YouTube. I'm considered an independent contractor. So it's money just to help, like, pay the mortgage, pay the utilities, like, just like that kind of stuff, which is a huge help. But it came at a time that, you know, he just got let go from his job. And I will be honest with you, I'll tell you, like, one of these stories, we talk about God and we talk about a higher power, and you, whatever works for you, if you believe in Mother Earth, if you believe in karma, if you believe in whatever works for you. I believe in God. I believe in Judeo-Christian God. I believe that Jesus Christ is God on earth sent, and that's my belief. So when I say the universe, I mean God, but I don't want to throw that on you if that's not where you're at in life. Because a lot of people have had issues. They're traumatized by their religious upbringing and are dealing with that. So I don't really want to trigger anybody's emotional. So when I say the universe, I mean God. I mean Jesus and God and the Holy Spirit. But I call it the universe just to make sure that it's all inclusive. Anyhow, when I found out I was getting the money, we knew how much we were going to need for the bills. And because we had just gotten the stimulus package, we got ahead on stuff, which is good. That's really what it was for. We were able to, like, do food stock. Like, I guess a lot of you did. Like, we went and stocked up our freezer with meat because we didn't know what was going to happen. You know, like, it's just things that's what it's for, is to go out there and do the things that pay the bills and catch up on credit cards or whatever your situation is. So we were able to do that, and that made it like breathing room. But then because there was like not a holiday, like, okay, so since my brother passed, and really since August, my depression clicked in. But since my brother passed, my revenue, I haven't really created new content, so my revenue is poor, which is fine. I'm not asking anybody for anything. God's got my back is all I'm trying to say. But old videos have like at Christmas time, people watch my older videos, and that helps with the revenue come up. Even though I'm not creating new content, people are watching old things. So people watching old things for Easter, and they're watching old things for organizing during January. They want to, like, have inspirational ideas, so they go and watch some organizational videos. So these things have like a ebb and flow almost. Well, we're in a space of time where there really isn't. Like, Easter is over, spring is over. Not as many people decorate for summer or Americana, so that the revenue has really dropped a lot, which then in turn, like, affects the whole, like, ebb and flow of my household budget. But Jimmy was picking up hours at work, so it was really helping. It was kind of like ebbing and flowing. It was in balance. But this came at a time where we were like, okay, so we're caught up on things. We have our bills paid for this month and a little bit into next month because of the stimulus. And it was coming, and I said to him, I'm like, it's going to be, and I'm not going to tell you how much it was or how much he gets paid. I'm not, but I'm just going to let you know, like, what I said to him. I'm like, it's going to be like almost 10 of your paychecks before we take out the money for the bills. So after we take out money for the bills, it's going to be like 4 or 5 of your paychecks. So and that's 10 weeks. That's 8 to 10 weeks. And I was like, I just wish you could take a sabbatical. This was before he got laid off. So I was like, I just wish you could take a sabbatical. We have a lot of projects we want to do around the house, and they're working him so hard at his job that he just doesn't have any energy. And, you guys know, since menopause kicked in, I've got less and less energy every day. Actually, since my knee surgery, my stamina has not come back to where it ever was. But I don't know, that just could be because I turned 40. Who knows? But anyway, we have all these projects we want to do, and she's got no energy. And the PPP money comes in 2 draws, basically. So you get basically 2 loans. You get two loans of half the amount. So the first loan came before he got let go, and we were able to buy household stocks, if that makes any sense. So stock up on household stuff, not stocks like stock market. We were able to buy a year's worth of air conditioner filters, and a year's worth of refrigerator filters, and a year's worth of the air purifier filters, those kinds of things. Stock up on the expensive bulk item, but I buy them in bulk. I got 5 pounds of almond flour. My friend and benefactor, she's really my friend, has given me so much the snack foods and stuff, so that's really helped with my budget. She's also been an amazing friend and support through all of this, going through very similar situations at times. But she's also provided me so much of my medicine that has saved me so much money, or had me get through these hard times, which is amazing. I'm sorry. I hear my sister now. Every time I start to cry, I hear my sister's hold it, because I really don't want to. But she's been very special. She's been very important to me. But it's been really a big, huge help. Okay, I'm better. So, I said that I really wished he could take a sabbatical, and then he got let go. And normally when he gets let go, here's another thing, it's 2 things. Normally when he gets let go, he's very mad. He gets very emotional. He thinks that it's unfair, and he got he gets so defensive, and then he gets angry, and then I can't even talk him down, because then he's just needs his time. This time, he texted me and he said, I got let go, and we'll talk about it when I get home. So I was like, okay. So I expected this, which he never pre-texts me, by the way. So I was expecting this, bull to walk in the door, and he walked in, he's he was more upset. He was emotional about it, because at first he was I like this job a lot, and I like the people, and I'm good at it, and the work, and I don't get it. And I just looked at him, because he was so calm. I was able to actually say, there's a reason. Now, usually I don't get to there's a reason for everything until way later in the conversation. Usually I have to talk him off that ledge and reassure him that he is an amazing person before I can get to there's a reason. Because God has a purpose, and God has plans for us, and we do have free will. But if we just allow those plans to happen, if we allow his divine message come in, there's a reason for everything and a timing for everything. And they say when you make plans, God laughs. I don't know that that's true. I think that a lot of times he has his hands in your plans, and he may send you into a different direction, but that's not necessarily bad. So we have time, and we can afford for him to be off of work for right now. He did file for unemployment because, again, I don't know if he'll get it, because right to work state, he can get denied the unemployment, or he got fired for the reasons but there's like no reason. So, he is really good. We are really good. He did have a little bit of a meltdown yesterday, but it was really like a miscommunication thing. And I said to him, what I mentioned this at the beginning of the vlog. This is what the vlog was going to be about this morning, in case you're dealing with somebody. So, I recently realized that I have some form of ADD with my brain, like the brain kind, not like the hyperactivity part. But Jim's got it all, you know? So dealing with it is hard. Living with somebody who's got ADD, ADHD, it's difficult at times because you don't know what to do sometimes because the person has a whole thing happening in their head and you're not privy to it. So normally, if he is struggling with something like a device or a website and he doesn't ask for help, it means he doesn't want help. Usually he struggles and I offer and he'll be like, just let me do it. And I'm like, okay, I'll let you do it. It's fine. It's hard to hear you struggle. It's hard to hear you moan and groan and complain about it and sigh and all that stuff and not want to help you. But if that's what you want, I will respect your wishes and I'll just lay out of it. That's all. So, this was a thing. So Mom was having trouble with her Fire Stick. We have Fire Sticks, Amazon Fire Sticks for our TV service. So she was having trouble with the one app that she loves to watch most of the time. And it was just running slow. And there was a lot of different things. You go through a lot of different troubleshootings. Do you guys know, like, whether it's your cable box or your DVD player, like there's troubleshooting steps you do where you go and, I mean, we could throw this back to Nintendo. The game doesn't come on. You open it, you blow on the cartridge, and you put it back. Like, there's steps you go through, right? Well, this was one of those things. So I said, he's in there, and he's like, not asking me to help. He's asking, like, or he's saying, this is the problem next. This is the next problem. We tried that. This doesn't work. So I just keep giving the next step of advice because I have dealt with this. He doesn't want any help unless he asks for it. So it was very strange, and we said we would work on it today, but literally I have like Paramount Plus, which used to be CBS All Access. Mom had it in her room on her Fire Stick, and I had it in the living room on my Fire Stick, and they were both signed on to my account, which it said it was signed on to my account, but hers was not showing The Young and the Restless. Mine was showing The Young and the Restless. I have no idea why. If you work for Paramount Plus or CBS All Access or for Amazon Fire Stick, please do me a favor. Why? So I was like, maybe her app needs to be updated. Like, I don't know how long, how often. Like, do we need to re-sign into that app? Like, what? And he got very mad and left. Now, sometimes he gets frustrated with Mom because when you have a parent with dementia that used to be somewhat capable on certain things, and they are no longer capable as easily with those things, it can be frustrating to you as their child. Like, it brings forth the thought that they're diminishing, and that's hard. That's a hard thought to process. So I thought he was getting frustrated last night because of her, because she was getting frustrated, so he was getting frustrated. So then he like left. He's like, I'm like, where are you going? He's like, I'm going out. I'm getting out of here. I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking he's frustrated with his mom. So I gave him his time and I was like, just be careful. Wherever you need to take a drive, get gas, get a soda. I don't know, whatever. So I was like, be careful. And when he came back, I realized that maybe it was me. So I said, I'm sorry. He's like, for what? And I was like, for whatever I might have participated in to get you frustrated. And he's like, well, you know what you're doing. First of all, I don't. I just have I thought I had the same information as him because we learned these things together. So, but he's like, you know what you're doing and you're out here and you should be in there. And I was like, I'm sorry. I didn't know you wanted me in there. I was like, usually you tell me to leave you alone and you'll fix it yourself. And I was like, I'm sorry. But I just didn't know that. I was like, you didn't ask me for help. So I don't know what to do. I said, I turned to him. I was like, am I wrong? I mean, how many times, more often than not, you say, I got it. Let me figure it out myself. And I'm like, well, I just thought this was one of those times. And I thought you were just getting, you didn't see me getting frustrated. I was like, yeah, I thought you were getting frustrated with mom, not with the process. Like, I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. I try to read your emotions and your feelings and your thoughts and your sighs and all those things the best I can, but I don't know. Like, it's not solid. It's not ironclad. So we were better after that. That was the only thing, like, when he got frustrated and left, I automatically said to myself, are we going to be able to do these projects? I don't know. Like, can we work together after all these years? I mean, you know, it's different dynamic when you're married, and it's different dynamic when you're doing a project. We know, because we've done projects. We did the closet projects, and you know, we've done projects over the last few years. But, like, is this going to be okay? Are you still dealing with something with work? Like, do we really need to? So that's the story of the last 24 hours. Actually, it wasn't even 24 hours. It was like last night at 10 o'clock at night. So the last 16 hours. Actually, it's not that late. I don't know. We never sprung forward the clock. Maybe it's 20 to 11. I don't know. God bless you. But what we did on day one, the first day where he was let go, is we sat and we made a really comprehensive list of the purging process, the cleaning process, step by step. Now with Jim, he likes lists, but he likes to be able to cross off stuff on the list. He likes to be able to feel accomplished, which is great. It's not just Jim. There's a lot of people do that. I actually appreciate that myself. But what I found out is you can't just write down living room. Because if you don't finish the whole living room, you don't get to cross it off. But if you write living room, coffee table, living room, black table, living room, side table, every time you complete a task, you get to cross it off, which is better. And if you complete the whole task without picking up the notepad to cross anything off, that's fine. You can just cross everything off at the same time. But it also does cover the other end too. So we made this really comprehensive list, room by room, of what we wanted to do. Now, I had a back pain. Turns out it's very possible that a UTI had creeped up. I'm going to message my doctor after I have this coffee and finish talking to you today. But I feel so much better just of taking like the over-the-counter UTI stuff. My back doesn't really have any more pain. But now my knee is killing me. It's the knee I actually had the surgery on, so I'm not used to that hurting. It hasn't hurt me since my surgery. But that's the side of my body that had the back pain, so I wasn't sure if I was just like overcompensating it or doing something wrong to it or whatever. So I have to be careful, because what had happened to me is that bacteria had gotten into my arthritis and made it septic. So I have to be careful. Like, I can't just let free roaming bacteria enter my body and leave, whatever. But so that's why I'm kind of like mindful of it. But I also can't overdo antibiotics either, because that's a whole other thing. But anyway, one more sip. So even with the hurt knee, I can do what I can do. And I have been. And again, he was really fixated on, you need to do more, you need to move more. And I'm like, I'm moving my maximum amount my body will allow me. I push myself every day. I actually said, I was like, so I have to listen to my body. Okay. Hi. I'm Jeri. I like to tell 27 stories to get to the point. I'm like MapQuest. I just take you every different way. when I had my knee problem in 2011. I went to a Christian rock concert and I danced my heart away. And then we left. And I felt like it was sore when I left. But sometimes it usually is my left knee, but usually my knees are sore. I played a softball catcher for 13 years in a row or whatever. And I like the squats, and catchers famously have bad knees from doing all the squats. Okay. So I was dancing and I was like, oh, my knees are sore. So I worked until Saturday afternoon. It was Wednesday night. I worked all day Thursday, all day Friday. It was achy. I worked Saturday. And then I was like, I just have to go home early. It's really the pain's becoming unbearable. Sunday, I went home and rested because I was like, oh, you're supposed to rest. Monday, I couldn't put any weight on it at all. I couldn't even get up to go to the ladies' room. So Monday, I went into the hospital, and that's when I found out I had a torn meniscus that had gotten septic because I had staph bacteria in me. They think from the airplane because we had just gotten back from Texas. So it's possible I picked up staph on the airplane. I learned then from my physical therapist, rest is just as important as exercise for an injury. Rest is almost more important for some injuries. So I said to him, he's like, I think you just need to move more. And I was like, I appreciate what you're saying, but it took me a long time to learn that, yes, stretching is important and moving the muscles, but putting weight on it and not resting, that's not really good for it all the time. This is what happened to me years ago. I overdid it, and I had the bacteria, and the bacteria spread because I moved so much, because I did work. So I'm like, I don't know what the right answer is. I'm just really trying to listen to my body. My body is really just trying to tell me something, and I just don't know what it's trying to tell me necessarily, but rest. I did the Voltaren cream. It's over the counter now, which is really great. It's basically ibuprofen cream. It works really, really well. It's not cheap. And you have to use a lot, or they tell you that you use a lot, but I don't know. I've gotten away with using less, but I've, used the cream. I take ibuprofen, and, I'm able to get up and go to the bathroom. Do I hobble a little bit? Yeah, it's a little bit more painful than normal knee pain. But again, it's like, I'm doing do I move more? Do I rest? While I'm resting, I do stretches. I basically flex my foot, and then I put my, while I'm up in the recliner, I put my foot flat. So I bend my knee, and then I straighten it, and I flex and point my toes. I do some exercises. I don't just sit stagnant. Plus, I still get up and do whatever I got to do. Make food, do coffee, do bathroom visits, whatever. So, but I said to Jim, I'm like, I could have overdone it the other day. I made, I set at the stove, and we made chicken franchise. So that's all done at the stove. I can't do that at the kitchen table because it's frying chicken. I could probably do some of it, and I probably could get an electric frying pan. But, I'm good. I might have overdone it. It's possible. Anything's possible, really. It doesn't take that long, but it's possible. So it's a tough thing, but I have hope. I said to him, I'm like, you don't understand. I know my body will get better. I know that I will be me again, better, stronger, faster. No, I know that about myself. I don't believe it. I don't have hope for it. I know it. Because I won't allow otherwise. But it's not an instantaneous process. I also have given myself grace to know that it's not an instantaneous process. It's like having an old car. Sometimes when you get the oil change, then you realize that your transmission's starting to slip. And then when you get your transmission fixed, sometimes you realize that your exhaust system is failing. So you might have to just knock out one problem at a time, but eventually you'll have a good running car. And that's how I feel about my body. I just okay, let's deal with this. Let's fix this. Okay, let's deal with this. Let's fix this. If something else comes up, we'll deal with it. We'll fix it. So I'm looking at this time as a blessing. I know that in time, he could always get another job if he wants. He's actually had a job that he left that should be open again to him if he wants it. But I would love to have this channel grow the way it was before the cuppa stuff in 2019 and before the pandemic in 2020 and before the Henson insurrection in August and my brother's death in September. I want my channel to be back where it was. Not this channel. This channel is great too, but my main channel. I want my channel to grow the way it was. I want my channel to be me and Jim working together to create for you guys, to inspire you, to teach you all of the things. So we have some time to do that. And we have some time to let this grow, like to really grow our business. So thank you. Thank you all so much for all of your support. I think of those supporters who are no longer with us. I have quite a couple of different subscribers from the beginning that have passed on. And I think about them and I think like what they wouldn't give to be where I am right now. And like even my brother, I don't really know how he feels about or felt about much, but I'm sure he would prefer to have had more opportunities. So for me to go and waste my opportunities, that's the part I have to talk about myself. So I love you and I thank you. And I'm grateful that you joined me this morning, and I'm super grateful that you listened to me babble and for your patience while I was talking to my sister. And as always, you guys take care. God bless. And we'll see you next time. Bye.